It's Dr. Stephanie Fine, and I'm here because it's 12:30 on a Thursday, and that's what we do. We show up together, and we chit-chat about an ounce of prevention. We are preventing weight gain. That's what we do. Otherwise known as weight loss maintenance. So usually people who want to maintain weight have lost weight, right? So they lost weight and they want to maintain it because that yo-yo just does not work. So we talk about stuff like that, and today is a goodie. I was going to say one of my favorites, but I say that all the time. Today's a goodie because it was a lesson hard learned. So in the Facebook group, which is planforpossible.com, you can go right there, planforpossible.com, and you can sign up for the Facebook group. Just answer a couple questions and you're in. And also on the Facebook page, we've been talking about lessons learned, how you learn lessons. I got to tell you, normally I am happy to learn from someone else. Like, I do not have to trip and fall over that thing. I can watch someone do that and then ask them what to do and then do it. Like, I am not one of those people. I know a lot of people who have to go over that curb themselves. Bless you, because especially when you know how to do it, right? When you know how you learn, then you go ahead and learn what you need to learn. And so I normally like to learn by not having to go through the pain of it, but best laid plans, right? So the blog for this week is about my hard won lesson on Mother's Day, which was just recently, which is why we had it. And it was a really seemingly out of the blue binge. That's basically what it was, binge. Chips and dip. And I'll tell you, I want to say I'm not prone to it. It depends. The size of my binges, thankfully, is definitely smaller. This one was 800 calories. That's not nothing. But for those of us who've binged, that's like a mini compared to what really can happen. Thousands and thousands of calories are easy to binge. And it's been 10 years that I've maintained my weight loss. So over that amount of time, I've been able to basically rein in any huge binges that I used to do. I would not say I had a binge disorder, but there's a range for everything, and we are familiar with binges. So anyway, what was really odd to me about this one was that it felt like it came out of nowhere, and it was for no reason. It felt like it was for no reason. But then I examined it. And that's what's really important, right? So when we have a misstep in life in general, but specifically here we're talking about food issues, then it's really important, first of all, do not beat yourself up for it. And the main reason for that is it doesn't work. It does not work. Beating yourself up absolutely has zero value, and in fact has negative value in terms of recovery from the misstep. So absolutely, the most you could please, this is the biggest lesson. First, this has to happen is to be compassionate to yourself. Obviously, something went wrong, right? If there's any sort of behavior that you've done that you did not intend, something happened. And so we just need to find out what it was. That's all. And so you investigate, which I did. And I came up with a bunch of things that I needed to remember. And they're all in that blog. But a couple of them really stuck out to me. And the one that really stuck out was this idea of logging. So I'm logging. I log my food because I am accountable to what I put in my mouth. If I don't write it down, I miraculously forget what I've eaten. It's crazy. It makes no logical sense. But if I'm not writing it down, I somehow convince myself I've had very few calories in the day. But if I write it down, I see in black and white, and then my planning brain can go ahead and make the choices that it needs to make. It's like magic. Logging is like magic. But one of the things that really helps logging is if you do it as you're eating. I don't mean literally as you're eating, but like right after, or even better is before. So that you know what you're eating. And if I had done that, even that alone, along with all the other things that were going on, but that alone would have done it because I would have seen that I didn't have as many calories left as I thought I had. And that, if I had seen that, I would have made a different choice. But I didn't. So here we are. So logging then, the reminder that logging and logging in, as close to the moment as possible is so helpful, because not only does it keep us connected to what we've eaten, but it then gives us our allotment. I mean, I certainly could have decided to go over my allotment for the day. I can always do that, but then at least I'd know I was doing that. It may, like, if I'm going for a special meal, it is so much better when I'm deciding to do that than when I accidentally do it. So that's and the other lesson I remembered is I ate late and went to bed, and it was so uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable. There's no reason for that. I mean, I'm certainly speaking for myself, but I'm sure, it's physically uncomfortable to eat too much, to eat really late. I mean, for me, I had bad sleep. And then here's the thing. I haven't had this in a long time. The next day, I was full. I wasn't hungry for breakfast. I am always hungry for breakfast because I usually eat really early dinner, and I'm an early bird, so then I wake up early and I'm usually really hungry. I was not hungry at all, and that's because I was basically still full. I mean, it really, very interesting. So there's my hard one lesson, but like when those things happen, kickstarts you right back into it. Learn those lessons. So I ended up being grateful for it because I feel like it helped me refocus. I still would have rather learned a different way. So the point about it too is that I wanted to bring up the fact that Memorial Day is coming up. And that can be a time, just as Mother's Day was, when there's unrecognized issues. So it could be, for Mother's Day, usually there's a lot of family issues that come up that really can complicate food desires and things like that. So, but for Memorial Day, sometimes it's not necessarily that, although if you're going to have family interaction, there you are. If you have friend interaction, if there's a bathing suit issue, if there's a pool issue, there could be issues that you need to deal with. So a couple things for holiday is looking at the holiday, the weekend, and seeing which days are vulnerable to overeating, which days are you going out, is there an uncomfortable situation, can you get out of it, can you mitigate it, can you maybe go only for an hour instead of a longer period of time, that sort of thing. So that pre-planning is always really important, and it really helps for the overall calorie count for the weekend. And then on the meals that you're not out or have a potential to be higher calorie, then you do your regular lower calorie meals. Great. The other thing too is looking out for those difficult situations and taking that into account. So if you may have a tendency to eat over anxiety or discomfort, then know that about yourself and have a plan for that. And what that can be is a couple things. One, you can decide not to eat at the particular thing. Two, we already discussed you could leave early or somehow boundary the event. And three, you can plan for some self-care around it so that you fill your tank up. So if you know that you're doing a difficult situation, you mentally prepare, you can talk to a friend about it. Maybe you get a massage, you take a bath, you go for a nice walk, so that you're aware of what's going on. And then once you do it, you can debrief with a friend. That's when you can do your walk. You could, take a bubble bath after, watch a movie you were interested in, read a book you wanted, and that sort of thing. So that any of the emotional stuff can be cared for, and you can decrease its influence on any unplanned eating. That's how we do a holiday, my friends. Now, the good thing about the Memorial Day is that it's usually barbecues. And barbecues are awesome because it's usually a really clean protein. You can get a chicken breast. I mean, sometimes there's only hot dogs and hamburgers. But you certainly can bring chicken, or you can request that there's chicken, or maybe there will be chicken. And then if there's grilled vegetables or a salad or fruit, and there's often, summer's coming and fruit is there. So there can be some really good choices with barbecues. So I hope you have a good one. I'm just amazed that we're at the beginning of summer. We're marking the beginning of summer, and we will be talking about that, about how summer goes, but there's so many wonderful things about summer, so I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I hope you have a fun, restful, positive weekend, and I will see you next week, Thursday, 12:30, right here. And you can go to stephaniefinemd.com to sign up for the Ounce of Prevention. You can get it in your inbox every Thursday. And then I love seeing you here. Have a really good holiday weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.